Hello! Welcome to the Wildflower Magic Podcast. My name is Kaity. I'm coming to you from Virginia Beach, where I live with my lovely partner Alan, our 2 dogs, and our 2 cats. I am drinking coffee out of my mushroom mug today. I got this for like $5 from Kohl's last fall. Love it. I'm also drinking a special coffee today. Before I lived in Virginia, I lived in Washington State, just due west of Seattle, right across the Puget Sound. And my favorite coffee shop over there was called Yes Please Coffee in Port Orchard. It's a tiny little coffee shack in a gas station parking lot right off of the Sedgwick exit, if any of you live there. And they always have Christmas lights up. And one of my friends went to visit Washington State, and they brought me home some coffee beans from my favorite coffee shop. So this is a little taste of what I consider home, and it's so special. And this is the first cup of it that I've had, so I'm very much relishing that right now. I have a couple of things that I would like to chat with you about. I've recorded this podcast so many times, so hopefully I remember to include everything, and this is 19th time as a charm, so we're just gonna go for it. However this turns out is how it turns out. So let's chat about finished objects. I have one to share with you, and that is the Bojagi shawl. If you watched my last podcast, you will have seen this as a work in progress. Let me make sure I show you the correct side. So you would have seen this as a work in progress. It is now finished. I'm so excited about it. I've worn it a bunch of times, so it's a little, like the ends get a little wrinkled when I tuck them up or tie them. It's gorgeous. It blocked out so big, which makes me very happy. I love a giant shawl. So this pattern is one of my all-time favorite patterns. This is the only shawl that I have ever made more than once. This is my second one so far. I say so far because I very well might make this one again. You start with a really pretty garter section, and then you go into this mosaic knitting, which is a type of color work, but you're only using one color at a time, so you don't have to worry about managing 2 yarns. You just alternate rows. And then we go into this amazing lacy section. I hope that these colors are turning out good. We go into another mosaic section, and we end with this giant garter panel. The pattern was inspired by Korean gift wrapping. They do really intricate, gorgeous gift wrapping with like beautiful bows, and that's what the lace is emulating. She has pictures on her website. Oh, sorry, the pattern was done by Knitboop. It is not available on Ravelry, but it is available for free on her website, and it's like a free PDF download, not like a blog post that you have to read through to get the pattern. It's a free PDF download. It's so well written, and it's gorgeous. She has pictures of the Bojagi gift wrapping on her website, so you can like see the inspiration, and she nailed it. It's so good. The yarn that I used, my main color, this kind of pinky color, is called Pink Haze. And then this color is Bouquet. Both of these yarns are by Life in the Longgrass. It's their Merino silk blend. It's a 50% Merino, 50% silk. And so it makes it very drapey and flowy and springy, summery, which is perfect. I'm in love with it. I have worn it more days than not since I finished it, which is really exciting. Somebody pointed out to me, this wasn't the intention, but Alan and I are having our wedding ceremony and reception in October. We are already married, but that's fine. We're having a ceremony and reception in October to celebrate with all of our friends and family, and this goes pretty well with the wedding theme and the vibe and the colors, so this might make a cameo at my wedding reception. We'll see. We'll see how it goes with when I finally pick out a dress. But this might make a debut there. Well, make a debut. It's already made a debut, but it might appear there. So that's the Bojagi shawl. And then if you have been around for a minute, you know that this year I have a little project where I'm making very mini versions of everything that I finished, so that at the end of the year I'll have a garland that shows all of the things I finished this year. So I have my little baby garland Bojagi shawl with several ends that I need to figure out what I'm going to do with. So when I started this project, I did not take into consideration that I like to make things with lace and cables and like kind of intricately designed things. I enjoy that. When I started this project, I was really just thinking about socks and sweaters and like vanilla hats, I guess, like stockinette and ribbed hats that would be super easy to just shrink down. I did not take into consideration cables and lace and things like that. So my last project was the hat for Thorin that I talked about in my last podcast, that's designed by Nicole from Common Thread Fiber, and it's an all over cabled hat, and I had to do a bit of work to figure out how to shrink that down. And I had to do that again with the Bojagi shawl, with the lace part specifically. The garter and the mosaic weren't very difficult, but let's see if I can get it to focus. You can see it up close. I got a new podcasting camera. I don't remember if I've said this yet. I got a new podcasting camera, and we're not quite friends yet. We're getting there. Okay, so you can see kind of the mosaic sections. Turned out super cute. And then the lace, you can kind of see the one bow cross in the middle here. It's not a perfect replica, but it gets the vibe, which is what I wanted. So I feel like I will always be able to look at this and say, oh yeah, that was my Bojagi shawl that I made, which is the goal. So there's my little mini Bojagi that'll get hung up on my garland at the end of the year. Yeah, so I think that's everything I wanted to say about that. I'm pretty sure I told you where to get the pattern. It's linked in the description box below, but it's not available on Ravelry. It is available for free on her website. Oh, my phone is going off. Sorry. All right. Next, I have a work in progress that is brand new. I have not shared this on the podcast yet. I started it about a week ago, and I've made a ton of progress. I'm almost done, so that's really exciting. This was almost a finished object. I'll start with the yarn. This yarn is Emma's yarn, and it's called the colorway is the Bare Necessities. It's on their fingering base. Can you focus? Oh, there we go. We're getting there. So it's this really pretty light blue. It's getting a little bit blown out, it looks like, but it's this really pretty light blue with these gorgeous like rusts and dark blues and oranges and pinks speckled throughout. It's a very, very pretty speckling. And I am making the Ripple Bralette by Jessie Maed Designs. So here, oh, it's a little bit of it's kind of at an awkward stage right now because I have one front side done. So it starts at the bottom, it's knit bottom up, and I have the one front side done. I'm working on the I-cord strap for it, so I will continue with that, and then I'll knit the other side, so it's a little bit awkward to show right now. Also, if you are thinking, did you make that for you? Yes, I did. And it does not look like it's gonna do the job, but this stretches so much. I have tried it on. It looks great. It fits perfectly. I love it. So trust her sizing in the pattern because she knows what she's talking about. This pattern is incredibly size inclusive. All of Jessie Maed's patterns are size inclusive, and they are graded for your size correctly, like taking into account correct proportions, which is super nice. So I love it. I'm really excited to wear it. I should be done here pretty soon. This did not take very long, and I have a lot of inches to go on the I-cord strap still, but yeah, this will be done soon. I'm really excited about it. I was a little bit concerned about yarn management. I'm less concerned now, but it's still a little concerning. I didn't weigh anything. The pattern says that I should have plenty of yarn, so we're just gonna go for it. Worst comes to worst, I think if I do run out of yarn, I'm gonna try to rip back the I-cord straps and just finish the actual tank top in this colorway, and then I have several like other yarns that would coordinate with this, so I could just do the straps in a different color, but I don't think, after finishing this side, I don't think I'm going to run out of yarn. Does anybody else, I do this silly thing when I think I'm going to run out of yarn, and I want to know if anyone else does this. When I think I'm running out of yarn, I knit faster as if I can beat the end of the skein of yarn or something. Like I'm racing my yarn. Like if I knit fast enough, I'll finish the garment before I get to the end of the ball of yarn. That doesn't make any sense, obviously, but I do it every time. So does anybody else do that, or am I just bananas? Because I'm really curious. I would really like to know, because I definitely do it every time. So I was sitting there working on this, and I'm like knitting so quickly, like I have to hurry and get this done before the yarn figures out that I'm using it. I don't know. I definitely personify my yarn and feel like it's out to get me if I'm going to run out, even though that's not it at all. So this is very pretty. I think I already said this is Bare Necessities by Emma's. Like I said, I've recorded this a couple times, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. I just want to make sure I don't forget anything. But yeah, that's that project. This project is in this super cute little project bag that does not have any tags in it. I'm pretty sure that I bought this from a local to me yarn store, Baba Sheep in Norfolk, Virginia. I'm pretty sure that that's where I got it from, but I don't remember for certain, and it doesn't have any kind of tags in it, so I cannot tell you for sure, but I think that's where it came from. So that is the only work in progress that I've really been working on since the last time I chatted with you. It's only been just under 2 weeks since the last time I recorded, and for me, that's fantastic. Like, that's great. That's a really fast turnaround for a podcast for me. I don't usually podcast that quickly, like back to back. But I'm really excited to chat about some upcoming projects, and I'm resisting the urge to cast all of them on right now. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, because we are a community of enablers, right? So you're like, why don't you just cast on all the things? Like, do it. And I agree with you. However, I know myself, and if I have too many things on the needles, I get overwhelmed and I kind of run into like some decision fatigue almost, and I can't decide what to work on, and I like to have a little bit of that gratification of like finishing something. So I do better when I keep my whips down to like 2 or 3, and usually something kind of different. So I have a tank top, a shawl, and a pair of socks on the needle. Actually, I have multiple pairs of socks on the needles right now. I'm working on condensing that down to just one pair of socks, or maybe like a patterned sock and then a not patterned sock. But I don't like to have a bunch of things on the needles, and I don't like to have a bunch of similar things on the needles, because then I can never decide what to work on and it just overwhelms me. So I do better not casting on all of the things. But it's very hard to resist sometimes. So anyways, let's chat about what is upcoming, because I'm almost done with this one. And I have a couple other summery vibe projects to talk about, and then one not summery vibe project, but we'll get to that in a second. So this is the first yarn that I want to share with you. Oh, by the way, most of this came from the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival, because I went to the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival with Alan last weekend. It was so much fun. I don't want to do like a whole haul video, and I definitely didn't vlog or anything like that, but these I have plans for, so I want to share them. This is not doing it justice at all. This is the brightest yellow yarn you will ever see in your entire life. I guarantee it. It's called Limoncello, and that is the best name possible. This is sunshine in a skein of yarn, okay? I'm going to glow wearing this. This is by Urban Girl Fibers. Is that the right name? Urban Girl Yarns. Sorry, Urban Girl Yarns. She is a Virginia dyer, so we actually live in the same state. And I got to see her at the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival again this year. So I'm really excited to cast this on. This is going to be a Breeze Racerback by Jessie Maed Designs. And I'm so excited to just have this bright yellow tank top to run around in. I can't wait. But my other project, so you're like, okay, if you're that excited about it, just cast that one on, right? I'm equally as excited about this project. If you've been on Instagram in the last several weeks and you follow any knitters, you've probably heard of the Oolong tank by Amy Share Makes. It just released a couple weeks ago, and I feel like I see it posted every day, which is fine. I'm not complaining. I'm about to be one of them posting about it because this is going to be for the Oolong Tank by Amy Scher Makes. This yarn is from Bumblebee Acres Fiber Farm. And it is called Longbottom Leaf. It's part of their Lord of the Rings collection. This is an 80% merino, 20% silk, so I think it'll be perfectly drapey for that tank top vibe. It's a little more vibrant in person, I think, than it's showing up on my screen at least. Look at all of those colors in there though. I love it. Yeah, I think it's a little more vibrant than what it's coming across on my screen. Hopefully on your screen it looks a little bit more mossy green. So this is going to be the Oolong Tank by Amy Scher Makes. I'm really excited about that. And then I have one more. This is Coopworth. And this is a it's hand-selected fleeces from Over the Grass Farm in the Plains, Virginia. So this is also a local to me yarn. This is what the tag says. So it says, a long wool breed that is a cross between Romney and Border Leicester. These sheep can vary in appearance because the breed standard is not based on looks. The wool is more opalescent than lustrous and more bouncy than silky. And this color is called Thistle. This is going to be a Lydia 2.0 tank top, and I think that it'll do really well for that. It is very woolly. I like woolly wools. I have no problem wearing them. I don't find them super hot. I don't find them scratchy. So I don't have a problem having a woolly wool tank top. It's a very light, it's a worsted spun. So I don't actually know what that word means, but I'm pretty sure that that's what it is. Did I read that on here or did they tell me that? Yep, I read it right here. Worsted spun with low twist and single ply for a softer, drapey yarn. So they had samples of this knit up and it felt very lightweight and it felt very drapey and flowy. So I don't think that I'm going to have trouble wearing it even in the summertime. Alan would not be able to wear this ever. He finds wools like this very, very itchy. I do not though, which I'm very thankful for because these are my favorites. So this is going to be a Lydia 2.0 top. I do have another one, but it's behind the computer and I'm worried that I will bump you guys and make you motion sick if I grab it. They're exactly the same. So there's that. I'm really excited for that too. So those are my 3 summer cast-ons that are going to be happening soon. I am really excited about the Lydia tank top, but I think that that's going to wait until the other 2 are done. So I need help deciding Bright Yellow Breeze Racerback or Lord of the Rings Green Oolong Tank. Help me decide. I don't know what to do. Okay, I want to talk about one more future project, but this project is not going to be cast on until the fall at the earliest. Alan and I went to the Fiber Festival together, the Maryland Sheep and Wool Fiber Festival, and Alan is very yarn savvy. He is not a knitter. He knows how to do a knit stitch, but he's not a knitter, nor does he want to be. However, this man can tell you so many facts about yarn, and he gets so excited going to fiber shows with me, which is really, really fun. So he chose for himself this bulky weight alpaca from Deli's Delights, which is a farm in Virginia, so it's a local to us farm. He chose this undyed cream color, and he bought every skein that they had. He bought all of them. He wants an oversized sweater with a V-neck in the front, a slight V-neck, not a very low one, but a slight V-neck in the front, completely out of this yarn. He already has outfits planned. He's very excited about it. The reason that this is not getting cast on until like fall at the earliest is because Alan gets really hot in the superwash merino worsted weight sweater that I made for him last year. So this is not going to be worn until the dead of winter. Because we live in Virginia, which is in the southeastern part of the United States. It does not get that cold here. It didn't snow last year. It didn't get cold enough to snow really. Maybe at nighttime it'll drop into the low 30s or high 20s, but it does not get that cold here. So this is not going to be worn all the time for him. And so it's not going to get cast on until just before it gets really cold here. but he's so excited, and I just wanted to share that this is coming up, and I'm kind of pattern hunting. If you have a suggestion for a 100% alpaca, slightly oversized, I think I'm just gonna do, it needs to be seamed, like knit in pieces and seamed, right? So the seams give it some structure, because I don't think that like a top down in the round sweater in 100% alpaca is a good idea, because over time that sweater is going to become a dress on him, and that's not what we want, because this yarn is very special. So I'm going to do a seamed sweater. If you have suggestions for a seamed bulky sweater that does not have cables and maybe has a slight v-neck, I can modify that though, so that's not super important, but let me know, I guess. Share them with me. I'm not super looking right now, but I mean, I kind of am. You know how it is. You get excited about a project and you kind of tumble down the Ravelry rabbit hole about it, even though I'm like, I'm not casting this on for like 6 more months. 5 more months. Anyways, I think that's everything that I wanted to share with you. I do have another summer project. Maybe I should go get the yarn for that. Or I could just save it for next one. Maybe I'll just save it for next one. We'll talk about it later. I have another summer project. I want to make the scoop something. It's another Jessie Maed pattern. It's a 2-color t-shirt. But I'll talk about that when I'm closer to actually casting it on, because all of these tank tops are coming first. So I think that that's everything that I wanted to chat about today. Embers might come say hi. Embers. Oh. Yeah? Did you have something to add to the podcast? Well, come tell the people. Well, come on. Yep, make your way over here. Embers just wanted to share that message with you really quickly. You say hi. She doesn't really like to be held too much, but she likes the pets, so she sacrifices sometimes. All right, go over there. Move your tail. No, now you're in the way. Okay, anyways, that's all that I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I had a great time recording this podcast 8 million times for you, so I hope that you like it. And hopefully now the settings are good, or I can tweak them a little bit for the next one, and the setup is a little bit easier, so we're making progress. We're almost a real podcaster. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you had a great time. I hope to see you at the next one. Happy crafting.